Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Husqvarna YTH2454. It has a 24 horsepower Briggs and Stratton. It's a 44 cubic inch twin cylinder and 54-inch deck. They dropped it off the other day and it was only running one cylinder. So we're going to do some diagnostics on it, see if we can't get it fixed. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, we'll go ahead and pop the hood off. Okay, let's see if it starts. Okay, I checked the exhaust temperature on this side. It's 84. Check it on this side over here. It's 390, 375. So this side here is not firing it. I'm hearing a clicking sound. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is take that valve cover off. As you can see how dirty everything is right there. Well, these twin cylinder Briggs don't like getting hot. You get oil leakage and you get a bunch of dust on there. Well, they can't cool off like they're supposed to. All that dirt and everything, you can't even see the bolts. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take the top cover off and everything. Make sure them fins in there are cool. But we're going to take this valve cover off. But it's clicking, so it's like it's coming back to the carburetor, so you know the piston rod ain't broke. You know, it might be a spark plug or coil. When it's running, you can hear that air coming back up in the carburetor on that side. Let me get some tools here and we'll take that top shroud off and we'll take that valve cover off and see what's going on. Oh, felts all got on the pre-filter there. We got a quarter inch screw right there we got to take out. Okay, now we'll take off these bolts for the shroud. And you don't take them all the way out. You just take them like halfway out, then they'll slide up. And that should just slide up. And you can see it's just caked. Especially on this side over here, there's no air. Your fan right here blows the air down around them cylinders. And this side over here is just solid plugged up. Before I even start, I think I'm gonna go power wash this thing real quick here. Now you can't even see the carburetor. So that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go power wash this thing and we'll come back and start working on it. Okay, I got it all washed off. I'm gonna jack it up and work on it that way. You don't have to jack it up on here. I'm just gonna do that so I can get the camera closer to what we're doing. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take out the spark plugs. That way we can turn it over by hand on the flywheel. It's a lot easier to turn over. This stuff here that's baked on. This poor motor was abused. Them fins and them heads are there for a reason, so it cools down. This poor engine had no way to cool down. Okay, let's pop that valve cover off over there. Them are 3/8. And over to the side off, it has that vacuum hose for the fuel pump. With this off, you gotta be careful so we don't rip that. There we go. And I see the problem right away. I'll get up closer here. Grab a magnet here. bent push rod. For some reason, it's not going down all the way. That one's bent too. Let me get the camera and look inside the piston there real quick. Well, the piston's going back and forth. I think I'm going to pop this head off here. I'll take the carburetor off and the side tin over here, because that's all the farther that valve goes down, and this one goes way down. So maybe there might be something in there. That'll be our next step. I'll go ahead and pop the carburetor and everything off, and we'll go ahead and take that cylinder head off and see what's in there. I'll unhook the carburetor solenoid. Unhook the choke there. Take the fuel line off the carburetor. And get a little cup from our screws so we don't lose them. And let's pop this fuel pump off. There's 4 bolts that take the intake off. Now we gotta unhook the governor linkage. We can just leave this here. That's not gonna be in our way. We gotta take this 5/16 ground cable off here. Looks like I missed a little bit of dirt right there. Okay, now we can take the head off, and that's a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna take this cover off the muffler here. Grab another bucket for the head bolts. We'll go take to the bench and we'll take the lifters and the springs off and see. There's nothing inside here, just the exhaust only goes down like about not even 1/4 of an inch. We'll go over to the bench here real quick. See if we can't figure this out. There's something. Don't see nothing caught in there. Well, I see what's wrong. The sleeve is actually coming out. The sleeve that goes in the head for the stem of the valve is working its way out of there. Okay, don't lose your little keepers. Okay, as you can see, look how far down that one is compared to that one. I'm gonna go try finding a different head. I'm almost positive what happened. It got too hot, and aluminum expands at a different temperature than steel, and these are steel and this is aluminum. Probably just got too hot. Let me go find the head. Okay, we're all ready to install this. I took the exhaust header off the old bad head. I put on this good used head. And the head gasket was actually in really good shape. And little secret I do, it's a really good shape. I like using this copper spray gasket. It has real copper in it. It's awesome on head gaskets. But there was no tears and no flakes off it. And then you can see on these head gaskets, it tells what cubic inch it is. See on the bottom where it says 44. It's a 44 cubic inch. I'm gonna find my other pin here. There it is, it fell on the floor. Be careful you don't lose these pins. That's what lines up the head gaskets and the heads. Go ahead and pop that on there. It's a little harder with the exhaust header on, but there we go. Get them halfway tight, then we're gonna go ahead and torque them down. Okay, we gotta torque them to 220 inch-pounds. Before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that governor assembly back on. I don't want that spring to come off or anything. So I'll do that real quick. There we go. I don't want that spring and stuff popping off. So when you're putting this back together, just take your time. Okay, I'll go grab a torque wrench real quick. The gasket's already flattened out, so if it was a new gasket, we'd set it like about 100 first and 150, then 220, but there we go. Now let's put the lifters back on and the push rods. Okay, this one here is the exhaust. And I really don't know the reason why they used the aluminum push rod for the intake and the steel for the exhaust. But when I tear these motors apart, I put both steels in. Just when you do that, make sure you get push rods for 44. The 40s are a little bit shorter. Get that set in there. Grab a needle nose. Make sure it's down all the way. Sorry about that. My battery went dead. Anyways, I got both steel push rods in there and should be gapped just perfect because all that happened is them valve guides slid out. That's what did it. So now start putting it together, but so watch it. The valves are working just fine now. Hopefully it'll run like new again. Now let's put the intake and the carburetor on. I better bolt the heat deflector back on here real quick before I forget about it. So we want to hook up that governor rod first. It's like I dropped one of the bolts here somewhere. Gotta find that fourth one here somewhere. Okay, hook up that carburetor solenoid before I forget about it. There's a vent tube that goes in the back of this housing from the crankcase. Pop that in there. Here's our fuel pump bolted on. The reason I'm doing this first is so this is in a stable position when I put that rubber hose out from the valve cover on there. Go and hook up our fuel line to the carburetor. Okay, then just slide this on there like that. Okay, now I'll put some plugs in it now. Okay, now our shroud. Get it all down. And the two back ones I gotta get with a wrench. That's for the headlights on the hood. Okay, let's hook up that choke cable real quick. Make sure your choke is pushed all the way in. Make sure that works. Now a little screw that goes up here. Get our protective cover on. Make sure they're nice and tight. I'm going lower down. I gotta go find a new air filter and pre-filter for it, and we'll start her up. Okay, got our new pre-filter. And when I start up, it's probably going to smoke for a little bit because Lord knows how long it was running like that. Might have some oil buildup in the muffler, but it might smoke for a little bit at the beginning, so don't worry about that. Okay, set the parking brake here. Well, there you go. It runs like new again. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate you watching.